Who's Who is up next. The host here is Mr. Sonny S.SEGAL, who is the CIO of Montgomery County, Maryland. Who is his guest on this set? Your guess is as good as mine, so let's discover together.
Welcome to the Who's Who show. This is your host, Sonny S.SEGAL. Today, my guest is Dr.Afshan Hashmi. Welcome, Dr. Hashmi.
Thank you so much,
It's an honor to have you on the Who's Who show.
It's an honor to be, and a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to share your wonderful background with our viewers. So let me take a minute to do that. Dr. Hashmi is a very diverse personality. She actually is a scientist, a regulatory scientist, and a business development consultant. She is also a public speaker, writer, an educator, film critic,
Yes.
and radio and TV host. So with that, I know we'll have so much to talk about today. Dr. Hashmi actually holds a PhD in biochemistry and has extensive experience with scientific research and publication, as well as an in-depth knowledge of regulatory requirements of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. She holds a certification from the American Society of Clinical Pathology and is certified in U.S. regulatory affairs. Dr. Hashmi, when I was traveling with a delegation in India and China, the most important subjects were the regulatory compliances that companies wanted to pursue with the Food and Drug Administration. You know? So I know how important your work is to the global community. And then that's not all about your wonderful background. You're also the author of many publications in print and online. And you maintain 2 blogs, which interest me a lot. India Business is one of your blogs, and Connecting with the Dignitaries.
Yes.
Yes, how interesting. These give us an insight, of course, into your areas of interest. You have also written and presented various papers on the subject of biochemistry
Yes.
and molecular biology.
Yes.
I see. And you have won several awards
Yes.
for your work in coordinating U.S. Business delegations to India.
Yes.
And for facilitating the meetings and introductions between U.S. and Indian companies.
Yes.
In fact, I saw that your international reach, your international consulting reach is not limited to India.
Yes.
It includes Qatar, UAE and Bahrain,
Yes.
of course US and India. Yeah, this is so wonderful. I'll actually allow you to then share. But before we talk about some of these other things, most interesting to me is your recent book that made it to #1 bestseller.
It was not like #1 bestseller. It was like bestseller
in its category.
Yes.
In its category.
Yes.
So the title, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace.
Yes.
What an interesting topic that is. What is the book about?
Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. This book is about jugaad. Have you heard about jugaad? It's a word about creativity and innovation from India. At every point in their life, an Indian has experienced jugaad, and it's a Hindi word about creativity and innovation. And what I have done in this book, that I have devised a new business model, which is called jugaad management principle business model.
Oh, my.
And what is the beauty of this book and why it has become so popular? Because the jugaad mentality has traveled from east, to west. So I have kind of fused the east mentality of jugaad with the western business terms. And that is the beauty of the book. And I have conceptualized jugaad as obtaining your objectives by maximizing resources through thinking out of the box. And the book is actually in case study format, and there are like 4 chapters in the book. One is dedicated to how this mentality, jugaad management principle, can be applied in India, then how it can be applied globally, and then how it can be applied in future opportunities.
My goodness, that is wonderful.
Yeah, so that's why it has taken, the book has taken by storm on Amazon and other places also.
I see. And jugaad, of course, in translation, could be creativity, as you mentioned, it
Yes.
could be innovation.
It can
It's
be-
just a very different way of thinking of things.
Yes.
And doing them.
Yes, yes.
see.
So it is thinking out of the box. Like here in the Western world, we think in a very, research and development and all those kind of forms, But jugaad is thinking out of the box. Like if you are stuck up somewhere, how do you set up, how do you overcome that problems? So we Indians, like go around the box, and that is what jugaad is. And then jugaad is linked to all the famous business terms, like reverse innovation, creative improvisation. So all these, like there are 7 terms in it, So those kind of things is linked with jugaad. So that is the beauty, that how jugaad, because there is lot of studies going on jugaad these days in the Western world, especially in Ivy business schools,
I see.
Yes, people are doing PhD on that what is jugaad, what is about Indians, that wherever they go, they become successful. And I believe that why Indians are so successful, because they apply jugaad, and I have linked jugaad to Mughal emperors, because it is MUGHAL is
Yes.
Mughal,
That's
and
right.
NGOL is the Arabic pronunciation of Mughal, and then MOGHUL is a wealthy businessman.
Oh, I see. I
So
see.
that's what and since it is a strategy of a businessman, so I gave my book the name The Modern Mughal Mentality.
Yes, when I read the title of the book, I thought it was an oxymoron because Mughal and modern, the modern Mughal mentality were very different things. I could not reconcile them in my mind. So I thought I must have you on the show to tell us, how the two things relate. Now, does the concepts in your book, they actually are applicable to,
Yes.
to modern business?
Yes, yes.
Modern business on a not just on a limited, small, indigenous scale, but even the giants
Yes,
of
yes.
Indian business that are now making a mark
Yes.
throughout the world.
Yes, yes, because the case studies what I have given is that why like for India, why McDonald is so successful in India, what they did, why Pizza Hut is so successful in India, and then in the international arena, like what Armani Hotel in Dubai did, so that why they are so successful, you know. So it's kind of a mix of Indian thing, Western thing, and then how this concept can be applied in the future opportunities, you know, because I had to prove that it has to be applied in future opportunities. And then there are some exercises, modern Mughal mentality exercises for people to get, you know, read this, how to practice this concept.
I see.
Yes.
And it's all in your book.
Yes.
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 So this is most interesting. And your book is, of course, very timely because
Yes.
the global competition
Yes.
is becoming more and more fierce every day.
Yes.
Indian companies are proving that they are world class.
Yes. Yes.
And those of us who are immigrants to this country, but have aspirations, and so many of our people in the community are business people who have businesses multinationally, so they too can really
Yes,
benefit
yes,
from the concepts in your book.
Yes, the idea is like from a florist to an entrepreneur, everybody, there's a vast spectrum of people, you know, who can read that. And a very interesting thing, you know, when I'm going to, since the book became a bestseller in a category as well as it was hot #1 new release in a category.
I see.
So I'm going to a lot of talk shows, and somebody in one of the talk shows, you know, they suggested I should take this book to American schools, you know.
Yes,
And
yes.
children should learn jugaad, you know, so that while they are growing up, you know, they know what jugaad is. So that is another very important aspect of this book.
And do you believe that it would take our American young and aspiring entrepreneurs to have to go to India to learn jugaad?
No, they
or
don't.
they can read
they,
the
they
book?
Can, yes, they can read
they
the
can
book.
converse with you,
Yes,
they can consult
yes,
with you?
Yes, yes, and you know, then they can learn it, you know, that how jugaad is applied, you know, they don't have to go to India.
I thought I would ask you that because we have so many bright young entrepreneurs in our community, and they will wonder if they have to travel to India, Dubai, and other places, you know, to understand. I also noted that you are very well connected in India.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you cultivated so many important contacts there?
Because I belong to a very prestigious family, one of the most prestigious families of India. My grandfather was Professor Abdul Alim, was part of the progressive movement of India, freedom fighters movement, and so he was a very, very famous person in India, and so he was my maternal grandfather. And then my father was a world-renowned scientist, you know. So, and right now my brother is a world-renowned scientist. So all these things, you know, I gathered that, and you know, I can facilitate contacts in India. So that's why people come to me to set up their meetings to important people in India.
I see some reviews on your website of iconic personalities,
Yes,
you know?
yes, thank
And
you
so
so
I'm very
much,
much
yes.
impressed.
Yes.
You have a passion in so many areas, unlike my other guests, you know, who are focused on a specific area, given that you're in science, consulting, and so on. Which of these do you enjoy the most?
Right now I'm enjoying the most is like reviewing movies, you know, because that is something very new. I review like Hollywood movies, you know, so I get a chance to review that, and that is right now because my next project would be a science fiction book, and I want to sell it to Hollywood because I go in the reverse order. Like, you know, for this book it was my passion that it should be the bestseller, you know. For that book, I don't know whether I will achieve that or not, but you know, I psych my mind for that. So right now I'm seeing all those pre-release movies. You
Wow,
know.
wow. And then you actually have the benefit and the stature
Yes.
to do that. Before we have to go, I want to ask you, who are the three people that helped mold you into the jewel that you are.
Yeah, those are my maternal grandfather, Professor Abdul Alim,
Yeah.
my father, Professor A. Majid Siddiqui, and my mom, Jamila Siddiqui.
Wow. Thank you for being here today and for sharing these wonderful secrets to life with us. I wish you all the best,
Thank you so
in
much.
these many wonderful passions of yours. I hope to see you again on the show very soon.
Thank you so much, and I'm very thankful for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I want to wish my viewers a very happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, of course. As we wind down this year, my very best wishes are with you. I hope to see you in the new year very soon with another wonderful guest on the Who is Who show.